First up on the ingredient list, we have San Marzano tomatoes. Very important that they're San Marzano as they come straight from Italy. Delicious. Next up, a little extra virgin olive oil. Make sure it's extra virgin. Now we have a little butter, grass-fed, for that creamy finish. And here we are, garlic. Do not skimp on the garlic. And finally, a little pappardelle. Delicious flat noodle. Oh, and what's this? A Parmigiano Reggiano. Okay, let's get started by filling up that pot. Order of operations is important here, and getting the pasta water started and going is going to be key to having things finish all at the same time. Alright, and what you're seeing here is a key step. You want to salt the pasta water. Very important to infuse your pasta with a little bit of salt. Not too crazy, but just make it as salty as the ocean. Time to break out that olive oil. Give it a swirl. Look at all that oil. Don't skimp on the oil. Alright, little mise en place time. Crack open your can opener to give that can a crack. Do the same with your garlic. We're cutting off the little woody nibs on the end here and giving them a smash. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Alright, once you've smashed them, the little paper on the outside should pop right off. You can chop it. I have a garlic press, so I love to use the garlic press. I mean, just look how satisfying that is. Would highly recommend investing in a nice all-metal garlic press. Alright, here comes the butter. Let's line up the cut. I'm looking for about 3 tablespoons. It's generous and delicious. Okay, and here goes the garlic. Oh yeah, frying the garlic. You've got about 3 minutes before everybody starts crowding around and said, "Who's cooking? What's that? This smells delicious." You really want to make sure that you're frying the garlic in all the olive oil. I like to tilt the pan a little bit and make sure everything's coated. A little red pepper flake to spice up your life. That's optional. And you want to make sure that you're not burning the garlic. When it gets a little brown like that, it's tomato time. Dump it on in. I like to give it a stir. Get it all mixed up and integrated. Que bella. Right, now you might not be a pasta pro like me, so you might not have access to a tomato smasher, but you can just use a spatula or a wooden spoon or a big fork, anything will really get the job done once the tomatoes are cooked. Now here's a little something controversial. Mrs. Dash.
Oh!
Yeah. Really what you want is fresh basil if you have it, but in a pinch it'll do just fine. Now let's dump this pasta in. Now it might look like we don't have enough water here, and you are correct. But that is partially by design. The ideal amount of water would probably be just about an inch more than this. You want just enough to cover the pasta. You can really see I'm beating this pasta up. Right in the beginning, pasta can have a tendency to stick to each other, which is just a gluey, chewy mess. So, you want low water, but you don't want it this low. I'm gonna make it work and kind of power through. If you look at the water itself, it's starting to get a little murky, and that's what you want. You want the starches from the pasta to leach out into the water as much as possible. That'll come into play a little bit later, but this pasta water, this starchy pasta water, is pure gold. Alright, and once you've gotten to about here, you can see it's loosened up. I've been working at it for a while, making sure that it doesn't stick together. You should be okay once the pasta is nice and loose like this. Time to drain the pasta, and look at this contraption we've set up here. The colander on top of the can of tomatoes that we emptied into the pan. We're saving a little bit of that pasta water. Then we're going to pull the colander off. There's that liquid gold. Dump the rest of the pasta into the colander. Maybe give it a shake if you feel so inclined. We're going to take this pasta right into the sauce. Plop. Now give it a jostle. The pasta is just cooked enough to be toothsome. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a toothsome bite. Some with a little chew, because you are going to finish cooking it in the pasta. That way you can let the sauce absorb into the noodle itself. Nobody likes a bland nude. Get 'em saucy. And look who's back. Mr. Knob of Butter from the beginning of the video. Bet you forgot about this guy? Oh yeah, stir him in. Get him emulsified. This is going to add a little bit of body. Tomatoes are pretty acidic, so you need something to balance that out. Oh, what do we have here? The pasta water. Look at that going in there. That is your seasoned pasta water. So this is the first time that we've introduced salt into the sauce itself. And you want to do that via the pasta water before you add any additional salt to the meal. Because you want to make sure that you're including that starch, which is going to make the sauce want to stick to the noodle itself. Acts kind of like the glue or the binder that connects the sauce and the noodle. If you don't have the starch, it's just going to slip right off. Here's a delicious final step, is to add the Parmigiano Reggiano. That's going to feel right at home with that starchy sauce and that butter. It's going to emulsify right in. No problem. Alright, so we've been cooking this pasta for about 5 minutes, pretty high heat. And look at that. That's what you want to be. You want to be Moses, freeing the Israelites. Part the Red Sea. Oh yeah. That's how you know it's ready. When the sauce is going to not be too loose so that it's kind of slipping and pulling at the bottom of your bowl. Once you can run your spoon through it and get that kind of trail left behind. That's what you want. So now there's nothing left to do but plate up. And be generous with the sauce. Like I said, nobody wants a dry nude. And it's time to treat yourself. A little more Parmigiano Reggiano. Oh yeah, like freshly fallen snow. So good. Get the fresh stuff. Speaking of fresh, a little basil. If you've got it, there it is. Oh my God. That looks good enough to eat. Let's dig in. Oh man, here's something you won't be able to unsee. Look at this. Oh my God, you know what? On second thought, I think I'm gonna save some of this for later. Thanks for watching, and bon appetit.